If you're watching this on YouTube and you have a question, comment, suggestion, or maybe you just want to find out more information about the product, you can find the link below. Hello again, I'm Rodney Reynolds with TheGameMan.com and welcome to another video review. Today I'm looking at the SilverStone Strider Gold S Series ST85F-GS power supply. A wonderful looking box that has pictures of the product on it, as well as features and specifications about it. Now let me open it up and let's see what's inside. Included is a user's manual, a bag which has 4 Velcro tie downs, 4 cable ties, 8 screws, 4 are regular, and the other 4 are thumb screws. And by the way, they are black screws. A power cord, flat, flexible, modular leads, and the power supply, which is in this bubble wrap bag. Now let's have a closer look at the power supply. Oh, and they have this little piece of plastic to protect the logo, which is on the fan grill. There are many power supplies in the Strider Gold series, but currently only 2 in the Gold S series, the ST75F-GS 750W model, and this one, the ST85F-GS 850W model. Now, their main focus on power supplies recently have been downsizing, and note that these are the smallest fully modular ATX power supplies in their wattage class, and of course this makes them super compatible to just about every ATX case that's on the planet, including small form factor cases. Today I'll be reviewing the 850 watt model. Now, how is this wattage determined? Well, to understand this you need to know what rails are, and rails are basically well regulated transformers which convert domestic current into the voltages that your computer system can use, and there are essentially 2 different rails: the 3.3/5 volt rail and the 12 volt rail. Now in this particular case, the approximate maximum peak output of the 3.3/5 volt rail is 150 watts, which is the same actually as the ST75F-GS model, but the 12 volt is 840 watts, which is essentially how the wattage of this power supply is determined. Oh, I should also mention that the peak wattage on this power supply is 900. The 3.3/5 volt rail is responsible for the motherboard, memory, PCI cards, and so on, while the 12 volt rail is responsible for the hard drive, the optical drives, fans, CPU, video cards, etc. It's also important to know the peak amps on each rail. Well, the plus 3.3 volt is 22 amps, and the plus 5 volt is 25 amps, and it comes with a single plus 12 volt rail, which is 70 amps. Now remember, when you're selecting a power supply, do not go out there and get the cheapest non-brand name power supply that's on the market, because the power supply is literally one of the most important parts of your computer system. And there are a number of things to consider when selecting a power supply. The first is wattage. Determine how much wattage you are going to require by the amount of hardware that you will be installing. Now, generally speaking, a medium to high-end gaming rig would require a 500 to 700 watt power supply. For a hardcore system, select a power supply that's around 800 watts. So this would be perfect for that, and even a little bit more, because remember the peak wattage on this is 900. If, however, you are building an extreme gaming rig with a top of the line, multiple video cards set up with lots of other hardware, select a power supply that's 1000 watts or greater. Second, it should be at or above 80% efficiency. Now this power supply's efficiency is between 88 to 91% at 20 to 100% loading. Third, it should meet the latest ATX and other current standards, environmental directives, overvoltage, undervoltage, and other protections, and this power supply meets all current standards. Fourth, I'd recommend choosing a power supply that has APFC. APFC, or active power factor correction, assists the power supply in being more efficient and therefore stable under load. APFC basically reduces total harmonics, corrects input voltage, and it allows for full input voltage range. Thankfully, this power supply has APFC. Fifth, there are 3 main certifications: AD+, NVIDIA SLI, and AMD Crossfire. Now, many of today's high-end power supplies meet one or more of these certifications, and this power supply meets the 80+ Gold certification, but the AMD Crossfire and NVIDIA SLI certifications are pending, and this power supply would have no problem powering a multiple video card setup. 6. Look for a power supply that uses Japanese capacitors, because this ensures a much more reliable product than a power supply with low grade capacitors. And this is especially true if you're going for a high wattage power supply and you need a lot of juice. This power supply has Japanese capacitors on the primary side. Finally, get a power supply that has enough leads for your setup. Also consider a power supply that has a modular design, because it reduces the cable mess inside the case. Also, it is extremely important to get a power supply with an excellent warranty, and this power supply comes with a 3-year warranty. It comes with a black paint finish and the housing is steel. They include a very quiet 120mm fan, and there's lots of ventilation, as you can see right here. So with this fan and the many ventilation holes, this power supply should remain cool in almost any environment. Note the power switch and the power cord connection. Now, this power supply is 100% modular, and that's excellent because you only need to use the leads required for your particular setup, which reduces the cable mess and thus increases airflow inside the case. And for easy connection, they have a label here indicating what gets connected to which connector. Now, have a closer look at these black, flat, flexible modular leads. These are brilliant because you can route them anywhere. As well, very few modular power supplies come with a flat 24-pin cable. Also, many power supplies that have flat flexible leads still use the regular 24-pin and 8-pin EPS leads, but not this power supply. Very little branding on this case except for the fan grill, which has their logo on it, plus SilverStone stamped here. Now, while the ST85F-GS 750W model is outstanding, this model, the ST85F-GS 850W, is exceptional. It is super impressive because of the power and features it includes. Most 850-watt power supplies in this class with modular cables are around 180 millimeters in length, so that's 30 millimeters longer than this one, and that extra length could be an issue depending upon the case. Also, it comes with a super quiet 120mm fan, a 3-year warranty, and it's 80+ gold certified. Now, as far as I know, SilverStone is the only company that makes its modular cable power supplies that come with compatible connectors. They've been apparently unifying their connector specs since 2009, so what this means is SilverStone customers can upgrade the power supplies without having to undo all of their cables. Of course, this is an enormous time saver because once you get all of your cables routed in your case, you really do not want to take them out just to upgrade your power supply, unless, of course, it's been quite a while. And the norm for other companies is to use whatever connectors that is used by their suppliers. Finally, have a listen to the 120mm fan. Now, there's really nothing not to like about this power supply, except, of course, for the price, but that's understandable considering what it comes with and offers. The feature list on this is just insane. Overall, this is a 100% kick-ass product. Until next time, take care. How do you think this product stacks up? To vote, head on over to 3dgameman.com, and while you're there, check out the pricing.